So Alan Day found an autistic adult for us because we wanted somebody who was autistic and who traveled himself. And it turns out this is Mike DiMauro. I'd like to introduce Mike. Mike is on a mission, and he's going to be, he travels, he's autistic, and he's going to be taking a kind of a road trip. So Mike, can you explain? I guess you drive for Uber Eats. And from what I understand, we're going to have a map here on this road trip you're trying to take, that you want to take next year, which is your Mike's mission.
Yes.
And just that this road trip, you're going to go to a number of different states in the East Coast and the South. And you plan.
Well, I already did all the East Coast and the South.
So now you're going to do the South.
I'm trying to get to the western part of the country.
Okay, so and then you're driving for Uber Eats.
Yes, I'm
in each of the
I'm
destinations
driver,
you go to.
Yes.
So okay, and then Alan, you want to introduce Mike and from you since you found him and you know him.
I didn't find Mike, he found me. There are a lot of needs to a road trip like that. And obviously one of the big ones is sponsorship. So I think I received from somewhere a circular letter describing Mike's mission. So, wow, does this speak to what we all want to do here? I was kind of reminded with the Paralympic video. It would be a huge feat if I were to deliver for Uber Eats in all 50 states. Nobody's done it yet. And yet people with autism that can drive are fairly rare. What a determined young man this is. And what a great thing it is that he's doing. He's going to do something that typically developing people don't do. I'm in awe. And really it's where we here are in touch with vendors that might want to sponsor some of this, please help the man.
Yes, we need sponsorship. I need
Mike,
gas money, I need hotel, I need campgrounds, I need all this good stuff so that I could try to accomplish this 50-state goal. I'm already at 23 states.
Do we have the map?
And if we have the graphic.
There we go.
All those states in colored are the ones I have done, plus Florida, since I lived in Florida. So the different colors mean like different years I have done the trips. Like, for example, red is I done all 3 years of my trips in those states. And then like the blue ones, the darker blue ones are the new states that I've done this past June and July on the road. And I have added 8 states to my thing. So I'm up to 23 now. And now we're looking at trying to expand it to go out west. You see all that gray? We need to fill those in with colors too. And I've always wanted to travel, and I always am a traveler, and I've gone camping with my parents since I was 3 months old, and I have wanted to see places like the Grand Canyon, Disneyland, San Diego, the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, the Space Needle in Seattle, Hawaii, Alaska, Mount Rushmore, Yellowstone, like all those typical places. And I figured that if I and see all the attractions, why don't I try to do Uber Eats and make it a goal and get me out of the house and get me going, and then also try to encourage other people with autism and other disabilities and everyone else to go out and travel, because we've been locked up for the pandemics and people need to get out there and explore this country. And I feel that with me having autism and me being able to drive and me having a bachelor's degree, I can get this job done. And I feel that if there's a girl that went around the country that was able to sing the national anthem in all 50 states, and if there's a radio host on Sirius XM who talks about his journey of going to all 50 states, why can't I do something like this for Uber Eats and do my deliveries in all 50 states?
And a couple of things, Mike, that some things are very usual about what you're doing, and some things to me are very unusual. The thing that's usual is people with autism want to travel.
Yes.
They're no less on their list of places that they want to see than anybody else. The bit that's unusual is driving. What are the normal barriers to autistic people with driving, and how have you overcome them?
I think some people are not able to drive on the spectrum because of the fact that they might not be able to have the concentration to go on the road and be able to travel. And what the problem with me when I travel is that most of the time when I travel, I'm alone. So I need to stop once in a while, stretch my legs, use the restrooms, get something to eat, get gas for the car. It's like I got to do that, and there's not a lot of people with autism that can drive.
My theory is that one of the things, a normal part of autism is reduced executive functioning, the ability to do things execute a series of actions in a structure. But it also comes with a lack of or reduced executive function. It also comes with a lot of misunderstanding of timelines. At the extreme, somebody on the spectrum has 2 time frames, now and before. There's no differentiation into the times before, and there's no possible way of looking at times in the future. And I think it's the executive functioning is judging the speed of vehicles coming towards you, of pedestrians crossing the street. I think that requires a degree of executive or of understanding of timing that a lot of people on the spectrum don't have.
Right. And there's also normal people that, sorry to use the term there, but there's also other people that are not on the spectrum that like to go out in the street and try to cross it, not at a crosswalk, or even if they have the red hand, they still want to cross the street. It's like it bothers someone with me on the spectrum to see that, because it's like, if we had an accident, whose fault is it going to be? And that's not right. And they go to the driver. They don't go to the person who went out in the street.
All right, Mike, sponsors help. Can we get a shopping list here?
Pretty much I need help with gas, like gas cards, hotel stays, campground stays. I'm looking at, I want to get another vehicle. I currently drive a 2015 Kia Soul. And like I said before, I like to go camping. So maybe something like a Ford Transit van or Nissan van there. Something that I can go across country in and be able to do these deliveries and be able to see this country. More room for me to stretch out and everything else instead of me being cramped in my Kia Soul.
Now, there are other things that can come along with it. It's money's good, but I'm going to turn it on Jake because you mentioned the possibility that we could talk to national parks and see what we could do to help Mike with the entrance to national parks.
Well, I have one of those access passes for the national parks, so I'm able to get into the national parks for free or reduced pricing. And and people can sign that up, go on the National Park Service website and you can sign up for the Access Pass, which is good for people with disabilities for lifetime. And it's free. So you have to pay a $10 processing fee if you do it by mail or online, so.
Well, I guess we didn't need that.
No.
He already covered it.
So no, the national parks are covered, but hotels aren't covered, food isn't covered, gas isn't covered. And so do you usually so if I understand correctly, you've already traveled to the states that you've shown on the East Coast, is that right?
Yes, I
And
have driven and delivered in all those states already.
And then how long do you deliver? I mean, how is it? So how long do you actually stay in a specific destination?
It depends. Like I go up, like I take a trip up to Massachusetts at least once a year because my camping club puts on the Springfield RV Camping and Outdoor Show in Springfield, Mass. So, and we're all volunteers, so I volunteer my time with the club and the show, and my family's been doing it since the 60s. So I would spend a couple weeks up there. Though I took a 7-week trip, 23 states across 6,700 miles. And part of that trip was going up to Mass this time because unfortunately the show got canceled in February. So I was able to make some time and do that and spend some time with family and friends and go to some of the places I haven't been to in a while, like Rhode Island, Cape Cod, New Hampshire, Maine, Vermont. So, I mean.
So here's a question from the virtual attendees. So how do you manage the stress in changing environments and new neighborhoods?
Basically, I just follow the GPS to wherever it goes, and I try to figure out how I can get there and all that. I have a GPS in my car, so I can go there. And then Uber also has a GPS on their app when I'm working, so they show me how to get there too.
And then so the structure that you use when you travel, is it that you drive for Uber Eats in that location as long as it takes for you to pay for the hotel room or the expenses? Or
No.
is it, how do you work that?
It's like, basically when I do it, it's like, I try to do at least a couple of deliveries in the city. It depends on my mood, obviously. Like sometimes I'll do 2 deliveries in one city. Sometimes I'll do like 8 in one city or whatever else. And it just depends on my mood and depends on what I have going on in the next day, because I can't tire myself out by doing deliveries at night and then the next morning have to get up and travel a long distance to my next destination.
So we have 5 minutes. Does anybody have any questions?
Hey, Mike, this is Allison from Visit Mesa. As the first autism certified city in the United States, first we want to say is we're really proud of you and think it's awesome what you're doing. And I would love to invite you to Mesa. We will pay for your hotel and some of your food. And I can't wait to get an order for our entire office from you from Uber Eats. So you just got to make your way out there. We'll get you a couple of gas cards too.
Yeah, that sounds great. I thank you for that. And I have spoken with you through the email, and it's wonderful that we were able to connect. And I saw how Mesa is autism friendly. So
And
I
then,
definitely want to go to Mesa.
so we may work out an arrangement with you to basically report every 2 weeks by video where you are and just sort of follow you just as a travelability
Well, I have a
initiative.
Facebook group that people can follow too. If you log on to the link that was on my map,
Oh, good. Okay.
then and then I'll accept your membership into the group and you can follow my journeys.
And so do you actually post videos or do you just
I take a screenshot of the restaurant in the first, oh, let me back up. I take pictures, the screenshot of the first restaurant that I do in that state or that city. So like the first restaurant in Mississippi, I take a screenshot of that so I know which restaurant it was that I did my delivery in. And I like to keep track that way so that I know what states I've done.
So just, okay, any other questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you.